So, can we talk about Oliver and Felicity's date and what we see in the trailer?
Yeah, you see them at an Italian restaurant.
And then you see her on the table.
Yeah, she's the date does not go exactly as planned for a variety of reasons. But it's funny because I think there was a lot of people. There were some people at the end of last season who were like, thought it was sort of a bait and switch when he said, "I loved you." But we look at that scene on the beach afterwards, and the way that they're looking at each other, they're pretty much saying a lot of things without actually saying them out loud. So, given that is where we left them, it only felt right to honor that and pick up this part of the story where we do.
A lot of people, we don't see a lot of men and women being friends, just friends on TV. A lot of people, when they saw where it was going with them, were like, why? They were so good as friends,
They have so much chemistry. It's literally insane. I mean, it's like, if they were our friends in real life, we would all be going, dude, why aren't you two together? There are other women on the show, like Amanda Waller, and that he won't have had a relationship with, who are people in his life. But I think for the two of them, it was, sometimes, you have your plans for what you think your show is going to be, and obviously when we did the pilot for Arrow, we didn't think about Felicity Smoke because we didn't have her in it, and again, it wasn't this grand plan. It was, for us, it was one scene and an Easter egg that once we saw those dailies and we saw what Emily did to Steven, especially early on, it was just this thing that just kept growing and growing and growing, and it just, but I think what's interesting about it, and again, to the friend part, is that, there's a real singularity to what they do. There's only so many people in the world who can understand the lives that they're going through, and I think that's part of the emotional arc for this season for both her and for him is that can you really have a life? If you do this, I mean, so much of the last two seasons was about the morality of what they were doing, and am I a hero or am I a killer? And now that he's sort of on the hero track, it's, is this all there is? Is this, am I just going to do this until I die? Or are you going to be my friend? Can we be together? Can I be with anybody else if I'm not with you? So I think those are the kinds of the questions that we're going to ask this year, and I think it's, it will feel different than what's happened before, and hopefully it'll feel like an evolution.
Well, in the same vein, I was going to mention, it's like it didn't feel like maybe it's giving the Clark and Chloe. When it's Smallville, will they try it and then it's okay, we realize we're better off friends, especially since you're bringing in Miranda. That's a real lesson.
Yeah, I mean, as a huge fan of Smallville, for my money, I never felt like they should have been together. I mean, it was just, they were friends. Even though she had a crush on him, it never felt right in a way that I think Felicity and Oliver, it's different. But again, that's just one fan's opinion, one Smallville fan's opinion. I don't know. I mean, again, we're, they go on a date. That's all I can say. So, how that plays out, how Brandon's character comes in, I will say that Brandon, Emily read with Brandon for the part. I mean, so that is something we're interested in exploring too. And as always with these things, it's never it's a rocky road, and there are complications and changes and obstacles. So I think some people will get what they were looking for, and other people will shake their fists at the screen. And we just, as always, we just do what feels like the next right step. And if it turns out not to be right, we correct. And if it's right, we go towards it.
How much have you been influenced by the fans pushing for it so heavily with those two, and was it just, it felt like the right step that they go on a date?
I think it wasn't even so much the fans pushing necessarily for them. I think, we were, you know, when we first saw Emily on camera, and then when the fans got their first look at her, there was so much like, who the hell is that? Who is that girl? She's interesting. And, you know, I think that certainly the fan reaction to Emily's performance as Felicity galvanized all of us that, oh, wait a minute, this, you know, the way we had envisioned the show, this could be an interesting new dynamic, and especially because, you know, the humor that she brings to the part. And, you know, as always, these things, they sort of live and breathe, and, you know, we're certainly interested in what the fans say, you know, but it just always feels right. Like I said, it's always felt like the next right thing, and you know, so far with most of the decisions we've made, even when they've been very difficult decisions, whether it was killing Tommy or killing Moira, you know, and you know, pushing some relationships forward and other relationships onto the back burner, we just do what feels right. But as always, hopefully with success, we don't have to rush everything. You know, some things are on a slow burn on purpose, even though that might displease some members of the fandom. So we'll see.